Alright, what's going on, everyone? I'm back to cover this NBA slate for Monday. We have 5 games. So let's get started. As always, before we get into it, I appreciate if you hit the like button on the video and subscribe if you have not already. See if we can get 200 likes on the video, and if you want updates, you can follow on Twitter. It's at the DFS process. Yesterday was pretty wild leading up to lock. We had the Nets players say they were going to rest all their starters, and then they said they're going to play. And then we had Adams was out the day before, then he was active, and then he was scratched, and then Noel was out, so it was pretty wild, but that's what NBA DFS is at times. So you got to make sure you're at least looking at the news at least 30 minutes before lock, because that sucks if you miss some of those news. But thankfully, we have like Fantasy Labs does a great job of putting it out. So let's get started here. 5 games. We have a lot of injuries already on this slate. See if we get any more. But starting off at point guard, Luka Doncic is out. Looks like the Mavs are now doing what a lot of teams have been doing and resting a lot of their star players at least one game. Doncic is out as well as Porzingis. So that's going to open up a ton of usage for guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., who's going to benefit probably the most. You're going to have Maxi Kleber benefit a lot. Probably could see Boban play quite a bit. Backup center, maybe he even starts in this matchup against Rudy Gobert. So there's a lot to like on the Dallas Mavs. I'd say you probably want at least 3 Dallas Mavs in your lineup, maybe 4, depending on if you want to play Boban or not. But the first guy that I would probably plug in is Trey Burke, who's just 3,700. He should start at point guard alongside like Seth Curry. Burke, he's gonna shoot when he's out there, so you know that. He's gonna be able to get some assists. Luka Doncic just takes so much usage from everybody, just because he gets so many assists, gets so many rebounds, shoots a ton. So there's so many shots. Him and Porzingis being out, that's just going to open up a lot of usage for a guy like Trey Burke, who can definitely absorb some of that. So 3,700 against Utah. It's not the fastest matchup in the world, but they're just going to benefit so much with all the injuries that it's tough not to like him. Other plays at point guard that look appealing, I'd say, is like maybe Jamal Murray at 7,100, just because they're still missing Gary Harris, they're still missing Will Barton. That game went into double overtime. I was surprised to see Murray play almost 40 minutes in this first game, but he did, and he still played extremely well, shot a ton, and that's probably going to continue with no Barton and no Gary Harris. We'll probably give him like 32 to 34 minutes today. He's no way he's going to play 39 again. That was a double overtime game, but I still think he looks fine at his price point. SGA's been struggling mightily in terms of shooting. You can go his way if you want, but I'm probably not going to. Then we have Mike Conley at 61 is decent. Dragic at 4,900, he's on track to play. Let's see him in the starting lineup. If that's the case, I think he looks good. But Jimmy Butler's also back, so that's just going to take away like some of the appeal from some of the other Heat guys like Tyler Hero, Iguodala, Crowder. They're just not going to be super appealing now that their prices are up. But I think Trey Burke looks really good at just 3,700. At shooting guard, have Jimmy Butler potentially. Looks like he's going to be back on track to play. He's only 7,200. Really good price tag. We know him and TJ Warren have had some beef back in January, so this will be super exciting to watch this game and see if that still carries over. And TJ Warren has been balling out in the bubble, so Jimmy Butler, I would expect him to do his best to put on his A game and come out firing and come out playing well. 7,200, that's just a tremendous price point. Then you got Oladipo at 58, like that a lot. Tim Hardaway, 56, looks really good. And then you got maybe some value plays like Aaron Holiday if you want, but I'm really just focusing on the Mavs for value and then going with like the studs from some of the other teams. And I will go with Jimmy Butler at 7,200. That price tag just looks really appealing. At small forward, we have LeBron, 10-2 against Denver. Not super interested. I think I might. You could look at TJ Warren again if you want. Once again, was just amazing yesterday or 2 days ago with 39 real life points. He only had 47 fantasy points though, which was disappointing. Just because he scored 39 real life points, but 15 of 22. He's still going to get you rebounds. He has 2 11 rebound games in his last 4, playing the power forward position now. He's been really good with the stocks. Just didn't get any stocks last game against the Lakers. They're really good and not really turning the ball over a ton. And now he's facing a Miami team. I don't know if I'll pay 8,400 for him on Draftkings, but Fanduel he's only like 75, so you could look at him there. Michael Porter at 77. He looks okay. I mean, the price tag keeps rising. He's just been shooting like really well. Had a bad shooting game, but played 45 minutes, so The only thing the way you can count on with him is really getting the rebounds. He's taking a lot of rebounds away from Millsap and Jokic. And then you have Tim Hardaway at just 56. That is going to be tough to get away from. Expect him to be able to shoot like 20 plus times in this one. He's going to have the ball in his hands. Going to get some rebounding opportunities that he normally won't. He's going to get some assist opportunities, although he normally just likes to shoot. Either way, I like him a lot. He has huge upside. Back in his New York Knicks days where occasionally he would just fill up and just couldn't miss from three, this is his spot to shine. It's a Tim Hardaway show tonight, and 5,600. That's just a crazy price tag. I would assume I was thinking that DraftKings would raise the prices, but I guess they're not. And so the Mavs are going to be chalky today, but there's no way you avoid them. Power forward, we have Giannis at 10-6. Looks really good. Davis looks good too. Davis been struggling. I don't think people are going to play him, but he's down to 9,900. We normally don't get Davis below 10,000. It's a spot against Denver where they're going to need him out there and his size. So, assuming he's in, I mean, he's probable. Should probably see like 35, 36 minutes coming off of one of his worst games of the season. I expect him to bounce back, and I don't know if he'll get a lot of ownership. So, on DraftKings, Giannis, I still like him a little bit more, but I think you can easily go with Giannis and Davis if you want. Pay over both. But Giannis at 10-6 against Toronto. Played 33 minutes, was also in foul trouble, fouled out of that game. But he's been playing really well. Just has lately been, last two games, been in some foul trouble. But you're normally going to get like 32 to maybe like 30 to 32 minutes out of Giannis this game against Toronto. It's not super important. They already got the number one seed locked up, but it's a good spot. He's done very well against them, averaging almost 70 fantasy points in two games. And at 10-6, that's just really cheap. Considering all the value we have, it's going to be easy to pay up for Giannis. Over at center, we have like DeAndre Ayton and Bam Adebayo. You have Jokic at 91 if you want to go Jokic's route. Jokic still been getting the rebounds. He's been getting bailed out in like overtime. He had like 12 or something points in the first overtime against Utah, and then the other overtime game against OKC he also balled out. But I still like him. Jamal Murray is going to help him, I think, a little bit more. Just get some more looks. Doesn't have to be the primary like distributor on offense. And 91 is a good price point. So don't mind Jokic. But Maxi Kleber at just 4,200. That's going to be the guy that you want to really go to. He's going to start. Could see him start alongside Boban. If not, then he's going to start at center and just going to benefit. He's benefited a lot without Porzingis. Whenever Porzingis misses, we've seen Maxi Kleber play like 30 plus minutes and play well. And I expect that to continue tonight. And then last but not least, I'm definitely going to be doing stars and scrubs today with all the value, and I think I might just go ahead and go with Anthony Davis. I expect him to bounce back. Still leads with 4,400 left, and there's plenty of value plays still on the Mavs that you could look at. Boban is min price, so he looks good. Assuming, even if he doesn't start, he should still see like 20 minutes at least off the bench. But this is definitely a spot. If they wanted to start him, that this is definitely the spot against Gobert. But I expect Anthony Davis to bounce back. The price tag has come down. I don't think he'll get a lot of ownership, so it's pretty easy to pay up for both Giannis and Davis on DraftKings. Even you can even throw in Jimmy Butler in your lineup. Looks good, and I think that's the route that I will go today. So let's go over to Fanduel and see if how their pricing shakes out. But on DraftKings, I feel pretty good about these six. Okay, over on FanDuel, starting off at point guard, he got some cheap prices. Point guard is probably like the position that looks really nice on FanDuel in terms of salary. You got a cheap Kyle Lowry down to 68, a super cheap Jamal Murray. You got Bledsoe who played 30 minutes and could see his minutes go up. You have Goran Dragic. Maybe if he starts, then you have Aaron Holiday if you still need more value, but probably stay in like this range. There's a lot of very good plays, a lot of guys that could break like 40, 50 fantasy points. And you also have Trey Burke at 3,700. So right now, I think I'll go with Trey Burke. Assuming, I expect him to start, expect him to play 30 plus minutes, and we have seen him fill it up. And this is a spot that if he wants to go off, he definitely has the opportunity without Doncic and Porzingis. At shooting guard, you have Devin Booker, looks good at 8,200. Jimmy Butler, 75. Then you got a very cheap Fred VanVleet's been playing great, and Nick Nurse is not one to really rest any of his starters. I will be surprised if he does, even though I don't think the Raptors, they kind of have their seed locked up, but he played 35 minutes against Memphis, played like 34 against Orlando. The Boston game was a blowout, so only played 30, but he's been playing great. He's been good with the stocks as well. Normally can't count on that, but normally can kind of pencil Fred VanVleet in for at least 1 or 2 steals. And he gets the assist, gets the points, rebounds, does a little bit of everything at 68. Looks to be a fine price tag, but I think I'm going to pay up for Devin Booker here, shooting guard, 8,200. Small forward, you have Giannis at 11,000, TJ Warren at 75. Much bigger of a price discrepancy, and then Giannis and Davis are much farther apart on FanDuel, 1,800 bucks. So if you want to go up to Giannis, you can. If not, you have more value plays and more guys that look good. Tim Hardaway is going to be a play for me on both sides. Just don't see how you don't play him. Power forward, we have Anthony Davis, 9,200. Looks really solid. It's because I don't think he'll get a lot of love, and there's not really that many other guys I feel good about paying up for. I mean, Michael Porter's been balling out, but I still don't know if I would play him over Davis, who's only $1,200 more. And bam, it's a tougher spot, and Butler and Dragic are back, so he's still 79. And then for value, you have Maxi Kleber, 47. You have Serge Ibaka as a pivot, but I still don't know if you really want to pivot away from him. But I think I'm probably just gonna go with like Maxi Kleber, 47 once again. Him and Hardaway, I don't see how you don't play them. And even Burke, I would kind of throw in there. But Burke is definitely the last. I mean, I'd start with Tim Hardaway, then Maxi Kleber, and then Burke is my third favorite. And then at center, you have a very cheap Nikola Jokic, just down to 8,500. You have DeAndre Ayton down to 77. I like those two a lot. And then depending on Steven Adams and Nerlens Noel news, if Adams is out and Noel is in, then play Noel. If they're both in, then I don't think you have to play either one. But if you want to go super cheap, you have 3,500 for Boban. Could be worth it if he starts. Even if he comes off the bench, I can still see him fill it up. But when you got 85 for Jokic, it's just tough for me not to consider him. They're still missing a lot of their offensive players with Barton and Gary Harris, so he's still going to play quite a bit, and he's been playing well. He's also always a threat for triple-double, although you don't get bonuses on that for FanDuel, but he just does everything out there, so you feel comfortable playing him until he just stands there and does nothing. But he has been shooting a lot more with all the injuries, so I like Jokic a lot. You can pair him with Jamal Murray if you want, or just play him by himself. And that's kind of it for this video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Just play the Dallas Mavs. You won't be disappointed. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back maybe with a baseball video this afternoon. If not, I'll catch you guys back tomorrow morning.